Okay, good evening and welcome to the Tewksbury Conservation Commission meeting of May 26, 2021. I'm going to call this meeting to order due to the recent open meeting law. Policy set forth by the governor, this meeting is going to be held virtually. There are some public hearings tonight. If you want to participate in any of the hearings, the phone number is 781-565-8134. Okay, so the meeting's called to order, and first item on the agenda is approval of minutes for April 21st, 2021. Did board members have a time to review them?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Any questions?
I have no questions.
No questions.
Okay, with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 21st, 2021. Have a motion
So
to that
moved.
effect.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Second is approval of minutes for May 21st, 2021. Any questions on those minutes?
I have no questions.
No questions.
Okay, hearing no questions, can I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 12th, 2021?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Okay, on tonight's agenda, we have items A through F, but I'm going to start off with item C since this is a continuation. And we don't want people hanging around if they don't want to. It is a continued public hearing from May 12, 2021. Request for determination of applicability, Pan Am Railroads, Bill Walsh, Chief Engineer, of track and structures, Pan Am right of way. They would like to continue to June 12th. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Who did I miss? Mr. Walsh?
No, you got me already. Mr. Ronan.
Mr. Ronan, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, item A on the agenda is continue public hearing. Notice of intent for W&C Realty Trust 319 and 321 Marston Street, map 20, lots 28 and 87, DEP number 3051135. This is a public hearing, so the participation number is 781-565-8134. Is there anyone here for this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dick Cuco here, representing the applicant along with Maureen Hill and Scott Goddard. I would share my screen if I can find the button there, if you don't mind, sir.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, let me get this thing out of the way. What's that all about? We have for property 2 lots containing a little over an acre each on Marston Street, approximately opposite Homestead Lane or Homestead Place or whatever it happens to be. Forget the name now, but just let me zoom out for a second to show you the entire property. The property here is lots C and D that are situated on the easterly side of Marston Street. They, as I said, both contain over an acre of land. We were in years ago and had a wetland delineation done that had since expired. So we went back in December of 2020 and reflagged the wetlands, whereupon we filed our notice of intent. Upon a site visit with Stefania and our wetlands experts, we discovered that there was a small finger of wetland here, almost like a ditch in the lawn that had wetland characteristics. So what we're proposing is to fill 500 square feet of this little projected finger and replicate it with 1,000 square feet in the back of the lot. If you can see on the master scale here, that area is in the back, which is about 1,000 square feet. In the past, the commission has had a policy of either 1-to-1 or 1.5-to-1 or 2-to-1. In this particular case, we have plenty of room to do the restoration, so we're proposing to do the restoration at 2-to-1. In the notes for the restoration, we're asking for the hydric soil to be taken out of this area. It'll be stockpiled. The new area in the back will be hogged out down to an elevation that is equal to the elevation of the wet flags between 4A and 19A. And then that'll be replanted with wetland wildlife mix that is from New England Wetland Plants Incorporated, which is the standard mix that we've been using for years. But what we specified the actual species that are included in that mix, just so that there's no mistaking when it comes time to do the restoration. The two homes that will be constructed will be out here close to Marston Street. What we have just done on this is we've provided a grading plan to show that the grading will match the existing contours. These light lines in here, Mr. Chairman, those are existing contours. The heavy lines are the proposed contours. So we're matching the grades in all of these locations so that we can make sure that the runoff goes in post-developed condition as it's going in pre-developed condition. So basically, the site flows in this direction. With this small depression in here, there was some flooding, but that will be eliminated when we do the restoration in this area and hog this area out, and it'll continue to flow off to the southeast as it does in the current condition. What we did was we provided so that a requirement for the town of Tewksbury is that any new driveways not sheet flow any water from the driveways out to the road. So we've got the driveways coming with the grading coming in this way and coming in that way and going back into this area. We were able to, this is the 50-foot no-build zone, and this is the 25-foot no-disturb zone. We have erosion and siltation controls marked out. And then on this sheet, Mr. Chairman, we have the location of the medallions that are put on the 4x4 posts to be installed prior to a certificate of compliance, so that the homeowners, when they occupy the yards, they will know where the limits of the area is that they can continue to mow and maintain. Stefania had a question relative to the process for this, and Maureen had sent her a memo this afternoon. I don't happen to have it on my screen, but Maureen could share that, I hope, or she could explain it to you if you have any questions on that.
Okay. I did read Maureen's email. Stefania forwarded it to me. Before I continue, I'm just going to read this phone number off one more. Brian, if anybody's on the phone, just interrupt, okay? It's 781-565-8134. Stefania, any issues?
So I did issue a memo. Let me just pull it up. So a lot of the concerns I had just about showing how the project now meets the performance standards, those were addressed in Maureen's email.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he did just talk about the concerns with the drainage. So it looks like they'll be kind of filling in the area, and the drainage will be going in the back of the lot and to the side. So I'm hoping that takes care of the issues with the flooding. And then the last thing was just about the trash and the junk and the potential for contamination. I'm not sure if there is contaminants on the site, but I did get a call about a potential for contaminants. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then I did have conditions that I would recommend to the commission.
Okay. Anybody on the phone yet, Brian? Are you
We
there,
have no
Brian?
call. Yeah, we have no callers, Mr. Chairman. Sorry about that.
Okay, Mr. Sheehan, any questions?
No questions.
Mr. Ronan,
No questions.
Mr. McMullen,
Excuse me. On the revision 3 drawings, on the legend, it looks like the 50-foot no build zone is listed twice. I assume one should be the 100-foot buffer.
Mr. Kuko?
Which sheet was that, sir?
It's
Oh, yeah.
on-
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that should say 100-foot buffer zone. We'll correct that and get that over to Stefania.
Okay, that was the only thing I had.
Okay. I had questions, but I think they were all answered through the email that we got from Maureen. And if there's nobody on the line and nobody else has any other issues, I am going to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Lost my pen. Mr. McMullen,
Aye.
Mr. Ronan,
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan,
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, now I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent. Where is my papers here? I had it. Approve the notice of intent for W&C Realty Trust, 319 and 321 Marston Street, map 20, lots 28 and 87, DEP number 305-1135, with a standard order of conditions, which will also include the applicant shall retain a wetland scientist who will serve as the project's environmental monitor, and the environmental monitor shall be responsible for overseeing all activities related to the replication area. The EM shall monitor the replication area for 2 years of full continuous growing seasons, with written reports submitted annually to the Conservation Commission by October 31st of each year. All junk and trash stored on site will be removed from the site prior to the start of any construction. Can I have a motion to that effect? Mr. Kuko, are you fine with those terms?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as long as it's confined to lot C and D, because we have no control over what debris may be on lot B.
Okay, so we're going to confine that to lot C and D, and it's going to be for map 20, lots 28 and 87, correct?
Yes, I think there are going to be
And it's gonna be-
new numbers issued for that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, and it's going to be the plan that was submitted on, I just had that one here. February 14th, 2021. Is that the new one? Didn't you just do one today?
No, Mr. Chairman, the latest revision was May 14th.
Okay, that's what it,
2021.
but this one says February 14th. This one says
That was the
February
initial,
14th.
that was the initial, yeah, that was the
The
initial
initial one.
filing, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're going to say with the plan submitted for May 14th, 2021. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan,
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan,
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Board.
Okay. All right. Trying to keep my trash pile separate so I don't. All right. Now we have item B, notice of intent, Mark Roca, 1023 and 1029 East Street, maps 103, lots 80 and 129, DEP number 3051132. This is a public hearing. The phone number to participate is 781-565-8134. All right, is there anyone here for that?
Yes, hi, Mr. Chairman. Mira Cousins from Civil Design Consultants.
Okay.
I'm here with the applicant, Mark Rocha, Dick Cuco from Woodland Design, David Plunkett, the applicant's attorney. So we submitted revised plans last week that addressed all of engineering's technical comments. There were only a couple of minor updates that we made to the site plans since the last time we were here a couple of weeks ago. So I'll quickly run through those updates. So the first one was we updated the layout of the fence along the frontage on East Street, which was a request from Planning Board. The second was we added more crosswalk striping, which was requested by DPW. So both are very minor revisions. So besides that, there were no other changes that have been made to the plans. Last week, we received the peer review letter from EnviroTrack, the town's LSP consultant, in which he had no additional comments with regards to the revised site plans. And on Monday, we got approval from the planning board. So we're hoping to close this meeting tonight. If the commission has any further questions about the project, I would be happy to answer that.
Okay. Again, this is a public hearing. If the public wants to call in, it's 781-565-8134. Stefania, any issues?
No new issues. So I don't have my notes, but I believe the only thing that I kind of flagged was snow storage. So I think that there should be some condition about how they plan on taking care of snow and snow storage close to the no disturb zone, because though it is out of the no disturb zone now, which is definitely better, it's right on the edge, and plows are not going to think, oh, that's the no disturb zone. They're going to plow into the no disturb zone, probably off of the current retaining wall. So I think there should just be some type of condition to try to prevent that.
Okay. Any comments from the applicant on that?
I think that's fine, Mr. Chairman. Some of those areas have a guardrail, which is about 4 or 5 feet off of the wall anyway. So, I'm sure we can accommodate that, and we could even have a final, when Stefania comes out to do her final inspection, if we have to put a few signs up to augment that, not an issue.
Okay. Board members.
I'm good, Mr. Chairman.
No questions.
No questions.
Okay, and I have no questions. Brian, do we have any callers?
We have no callers, Mr. Chairman.
Geez, aren't we lucky tonight? All right, I'm going to entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Notice of intent. Mark Rocha, 1023 and 1029 East Street, map 103. Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Mr. Walsh?
Aye.
Okay. I keep forgetting Mr. Walsh. I'm sorry. Okay. Now we're going to entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent. Mark Rocha, 1023, 1029 East Street, map 103, lots 80 and 129, DEP number 3051132. With the standard order of conditions, and Stefania might add in any additional conditions other than the snow removal will be reviewed at a later date.
Good.
Okay. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, I got you this time. I didn't forget.
Aye.
Mr. Ronan.
Aye.
Mr. Ronan.
Aye. Why not?
Mr. Sheehan.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, board members.
Thank you.
Okay, I got rid of that thing. I need that. Okay, and item C, we already continued. Now, item D is a public hearing request for amended order of conditions. Nuora Energy Corporation, 1975 Main Street, map 84, lot 61, DEP 3051075. This is a public hearing, so the front number again is 781-565-8134. Is there anyone here for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Maureen Harold from Norris Environmental. Here with
Okay.
me tonight also is Pat McLaughlin from Nora Energy, as well as Hussein from GPI. And if possible, I'd like to bring in the plan. So we filed an amendment. The commission may recall this project. We filed a notice of intent back in 2019 to perform some work on this property. At the rear of the property, we have a bordering vegetated wetland, as well as the offsets in the 100-foot buffer zone here. This is the Shell station that's located on the corner of Main Street and Shawshene Street. We're requesting to amend the permit to replace an existing underground fuel tank system. The existing is located here, and we would like to put in a new fuel storage tank system, associated piping and infrastructure, as well as provide two new zero-emission vehicle parking areas here. The entire site is located within the 100-foot buffer zone or the bordering land subject to flooding. So that's why we're here tonight, to hopefully amend the order with the commission. All of the work will be, for the most part, the real work will be subsurface. We're not proposing any alteration to really the surface area itself. Everything will go back to the pre-existing grades that are on site. And I can open it up to the commission if you have any questions.
Okay, board members, any questions? Stefania, any issues?
No, all of my questions were answered.
Okay, I have one question. On the drainage, because I actually go to this place. In between the entrance that's next to the Dunkin' Donuts, is there any going to be repair there so it doesn't keep flooding?
On the adjacent property, Mr. Chairman?
No, it's on the Shell property. Well, not is it Shell or whatever it is.
Hi, Maureen. I'll if you don't mind, this is Pat McLaughlin with Noria Energy. Yes, Mr. Chairman, that the work that we had approved back in 2019 was on that side of the property that you're speaking of right now, with the intent to repair and fix that condition that exists right now because of the failed leaching structures that are there. So the approved stormwater system from 2019, we got ramped up to do the work, then COVID came in, and then by the time we got refocused to take up that scope of work and excavate to put in that stormwater system, we were approaching the right time in the lifespan of the underground tanks to just really just do this disturbance at the same time. So the stormwater intent is still the same as it was, and it'll address that issue that, yes, I'm sure you've seen a number of times if you frequent this location.
Yes, I have. It's actually a free car wash if you go through pretty quickly. I don't have any questions. Brian, do we have any callers?
We have no callers, Mr. Chairman.
Board member, any other issues?
No questions.
Okay, hearing none and having no callers, going to entertain a motion to close the public hearing for amended order conditions. Nora Energy Corporation, 1975 Main Street, map 84, lot 61, DEP 3051075. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan,
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan,
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the request for amended order conditions. Nora Energy Corporation, 1975 Main Street, map 84, lot 61, DEP 3051075. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan,
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan,
Aye.
Mr. Walsh.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you, gentlemen. And ladies
Thank you.
and gentlemen, I should say.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Next is item E, notice of intent, Andrew Cole, New England Power Company, 205 Washington Street, map 49, lot 64, DEP number 3051137. Is there anyone here for that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Brian Wentworth from BSC Group.
Okay, Brian, the floor is yours.
All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to step down on this. I'm going to butt it to that property. Okay?
Okay, you did receive a notice then, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Please take note, Mr. Shan is recusing himself from this one. Okay, the floor is yours again.
Okay. So New England Power Company is proposing an expansion of their existing Tewksbury number 22A substation, calling it a static synchronous compensator, or STATCOM for short, substation expansion. The expansion is required to accommodate the retirement of Exelon's fossil fuel fired Mystic generating station, preparing for more renewable energy generation sources. The expansion, you can see the screen here. This is the existing 22A substation here. The expansion is proposed within this red line, which represents the proposed 8-foot chain link fence around the substation. The work includes the expansion of the substation, relocation of, you can kind of see in the aerial, the existing gravel road which goes around the existing substation, provides access to the transmission lines on the north side of the substation here. That access road will be relocated around the exterior of the expanded substation here. Relocation of existing distribution line poles. The existing lines extend kind of over this area of where the expansion is proposed. So there's these orange dots here represent the new distribution poles that are required to circumvent the expansion here. Also, there's an additional relocation of a distribution pole in this location here. And I do note that, wanted to note that this location was left off of the NOI submittal, this environmental resources map. So this is a revised map here that includes that pole. Poles within the 50-foot no build zone, but outside of the no disturb zone, and it's located just off of the access road in between a stormwater basin here, existing stormwater basin. In addition, some limited tree removal that's shown in the white hatching here to accommodate the access road and the stormwater features here. There are, and we called it limited tree removal within the no disturb zone here, which is in the blue hatching. I believe that we've narrowed that down to 3 trees in that area. The tree removal is necessary. It poses a threat to the integrity of the substation. I believe it's some tall pines. The access road will probably put some stress on the root system. So the project proposes no BVW impacts. The one distribution pole 4814 here, I wanted to mention as well, is located just off the proposed gravel access road. It's along the no disturb buffer. We believe there's a push pole that's going to be required to support that pole, which will be just into the no disturb zone. So our NOI is requesting a waiver for that work. Let's see. Other than that, the stormwater design has been designed to meet or exceed the Massachusetts Stormwater Handbook. Includes a grass swale along the outside of the expanded substation, sediment forebay in this area, and an infiltration basin size to meet all the water quality volumes and applicable treatment needs for the site expansion. I think that's it that I had prepared. So,
Okay. Stefania, any issues?
The only thing that I would bring up, so I did go out to the site with someone from BSC Group, and I asked to see a plan set with a clearer limit of work, erosion control line, and no disturb zone disturbance kind of on all the plan sets. I know that some of the sheets show the erosion control line, and then some of the other sheets show just kind of where the work is going to be, but there should be kind of all that information should be on all the sheets so that we can compare and make sure that everything's in the right place. Other thing I will mention, the project is being reviewed by engineering department because it needs to meet the stormwater standards. So we'll want to wait for that review before we make a decision. And then I did draft up some conditions that I would recommend. So I can either read them out this meeting or read them out at the next meeting.
I think you can read them out at the next meeting, but make sure that you forward them to the applicant so they have a chance to view them also.
Yes, I did, and they did say that they were okay with them.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so the number again is 781-565-8134. Just interrupt if we have a caller, Brian. Board members, Mr. Ronan, any questions?
No questions.
Mr. McMullen,
No questions.
Mr. Walsh.
Yeah, I have one question. Where the infiltration basin's going, or the detention basin, is it going on existing? Is that concrete in the back corner? Are you like jackhammering that concrete, or is that crushed stone where you kind of the arrows pointing, the leaders pointing the infiltration basin?
in this corner here.
Yeah, is that like concrete, existing concrete that you're jackhammering out?
No, that would be substation yard stone.
Okay, just the ortho map looks like concrete. So
I believe there's they had put some sort of a structure here recently that's going to be relocated to another location of the plant. So that might be what's shown there.
okay.
Okay, I have no questions, but we're going to keep the public hearing open. So the actions on behalf of the applicant, you're going to provide Stefania with plans that show all the erosion controls on each sheet.
We can do that.
Okay. And the other action is on behalf of the town. That would be Mr. Hardiman, I presume.
Correct.
Stefan. Okay. So those are the two items that we're going to wait on. So I'm going to entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to our next meeting of June 9th. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to continue notice of intent, Andrew Code, New England Power Company, 205 Washington Street, map 49, lot 34, DE pin number 3051137 to our January 9th meeting. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Okay.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, thank you, Board.
Okay. Okay. Last on the agenda items is an extension. Is Mr. Sheehan back? I think the TV's, he's probably watching it and he knows he's 30 seconds behind. Well, item F is an extension request for Chris Duggan and Son Construction LLC, 1418 Main Street, map 59, lot 55, DEP number 3051031. Anybody here for that or hearing nothing? Stefania, fill us in.
The applicant is here.
Oh, he is.
I don't know if maybe he.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hi, how are you? Finally figured it out. Not that technical here. How you doing, Chris Duggan? How are you?
I'm well. I could barely hear you, but
Oh, you hear me now?
yep.
Okay. How you doing? My name is Chris Duggan. I'm trying to get an extension for this project on 1418 Main Street.
Okay. Well, the first question I have is, how long is the original order condition good for, Stefania?
3 years.
3 years. What was the date of the issuance of the first order of condition?
December 2017.
Okay. What would 3 years be from that date?
December 2020, however, with COVID, things are not expiring.
Okay, that was my only question.
Okay.
So, are we going to extend it for 2 years from the date of issuance? Or are we going to extend it from 2 years from today's date?
From the date of issuance.
Okay. Board members, any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. I don't have a problem with it. That was the only question I had because it was good for 3 years. But since it is COVID, I just wanted to have for the record that that's the reason that we're listening to it. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the extension request for Chris Duggan and Son LLC, 1418 Main Street, map 59, lot 55, DEP number 3051031 for 2 years to go to December 27th, 2022. Is that correct?
Should be. I don't have the date in front of me.
Okay, well, 17,
It's
if
on
it
the cover
expired in
sheet.
2022 would be
Yep.
the year. All right, can I have a motion to that effect?
So move.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is old business. Any old business? Hearing none. Any new business?
I have one question for Stefania. I'm not sure if it's really our purview or not, but I noticed it during the 319 Marston item. So they're modifying the wetlands. How do we
Yes.
how do we notify people GIS? Obviously, it's a regional. We don't have our own GIS manager. Do we notify them and modify it because it doesn't match exact? The wetland boundaries don't match exactly what's there now, and we're changing it even more.
You know, I mean, it's not something we've ever done, and I don't know how they handle that. Because a lot of the wetlands data is done by like flyovers. It's done by just estimating contours and looking at ortho photos.
Yeah, but it
So
seems
I
like
don't-
when we survey something, we have more accurate data to update.
No, of course. I think
That shape file to be updated.
right. I don't know. I would have to look into this Oliver GIS system and see if they accept data. I don't know their system for that.
Okay. I was just curious. It seems like
Yeah.
when we have more accurate data, there's no reason not to share that.
Right. No, I agree.
Okay, any other new business?
Not really new business. Just want to let you guys know I'll be away during the next meeting.
Okay. I have one thing. I got a letter from Mark Ratman from the Tewksbury Patriotic Activities Committee. He's invited members of the Conservation Commission to march in the parade if anybody is interested. The veterans ceremony will take place at the cemetery at 9 a.m. and leave there at 9:45. The parade will begin at 10 a.m. and they'll march to the corner of Livingston Street in Maine from the Ryan School. And if anybody wants to participate or has any questions, they can call Mark at 978-726-2912. I think you can all go for a nice stroll. I'll sit in the sidelines and watch. Anything else?
I have some admin things
Okay.
to discuss. So we talked about it briefly, but I just want to let everyone know. Our next meeting will be virtual, which is the June 9th meeting, and that will be our last virtual meeting. After June 15th, virtual meetings no longer count. So we have to meet in person. So our June 23rd meeting will be in person at Town Hall in the main hall, just like before. Masks are not required. Obviously, feel free if that would make you more comfortable. We can space out as much as we need to and do whatever we have to make people feel comfortable. And then I will just say as well, and this doesn't really apply to anyone here, but I just kind of want to, like a public service announcement. Permits were not expiring this past year because of the state of emergency. June 15th, any permit that expired over the last year will expire. So I mean, we don't go and call everyone to remind them and let them know, but if anyone's listening, please get your extension. Your permit will expire. So.
Okay, well, that's actually a good idea. That's why I questioned the previous applicant.
Yep. So it's just on that date. That's it.
So if it's being continued now because of COVID, but as of January 15th, if your permit expired in March, you're done.
Right.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Well, okay. I hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend, and thank you again, Brian, for your assistance. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
All right.
Chair votes aye as well. Have a great weekend, guys.